I'm a good person. I know I am. Well, I saved my cousin Billy that one time from blowing off his fingers. All the other kids dared him to hold that M80 and light it, and I said no, Billy, even though I really wanted to see what would happen. What happened at the bunker, Jess says we did the right thing. Foster says it too, so that means we did the right thing. I didn't do anything wrong. Us or them, and we chose us. I'd do it again, probably. So that means it was right, right? When you can look back on something and know that you would do it the same way all over again, that's deja vu, I think. Something happens and you say, you know, that's the way I'd do it a second time. Deja vu. That's how I know I did the right thing. I'm a good person. I know I am. Well, I saved my cousin Billy that one time from blowing off his fingers. All the other kids dared him to hold that M80 and light it, and I said no, Billy, even though I really wanted to see what would happen. What happened at the bunker, Jess says we did the right thing. Foster says it too, so that means we did the right thing. I didn't do anything wrong. Us or them, and we chose us. I'd do it again, probably. So that means it was right, right? When you could look back on something and know that you would do it the same way all over again, that's deja vu. Right. Something happens and you say, you know, that's the way I'd do it a second time. Deja vu. That's how I know I did the right thing.
Oh, didn't think I'd ever see another human being again.
Is your name Kenneth?
Yeah. How do you know my name?
Casey asked me to look for you. He's alive. In the bunker. He wanted to know what happened to you and the rest of the squad.
Casey's alive, huh? That's good to hear. I didn't give him much chance, honestly. Thought he'd have blown his brains out by now, or shriveled away to nothing. Guess I underestimated him. If you make it back to him, tell him these few things for me. Tell him he's a good guy. The guilt, it's not his. Tell him to let it all go. What happened at the bunker, he needs to wipe his brain clean. Tell him Kenneth set things right. Killed Trent, Jess, and Foster. Okay? You need to write it down or something?
What do you mean, the guilt? Casey mentioned something horrible happened at the bunker. Is that what you're talking about?
Fuck it. I've got nothing to hide. We killed dozens of innocent people. Civilians trying to get into the bunker. When all the shit with the dead walking started to go down, we had orders to keep everyone out of the bunker. I don't know why. It didn't make any sense. But when it got too tense, we freaked. We mowed them down. Vietnam-style shit. Casey just stood there. Like a ghost. That fuck Foster started screaming at him to open fire with the rest of us. Later I asked Casey if he fired. He said that he pulled the trigger because he was scared that if he didn't, we'd all turn on him, add his body to the pile. He said he aimed his gun up in the rafters of the church. I believed him. He begged me not to tell the others. He didn't trust them. But he trusted me. We were friends. Listen, my brain is getting foggy. I'm seeing shit. I don't know how many words I got left. End me. Please.
One more question, Kenneth. You said you killed your squad mates. Why?
We all deserve death for what we did, champ. They were gonna hurt Cousin Timmy, and I couldn't let them do that. I had to make sure. They were never gonna hurt no one, ever again. Right, Uncle Tommy? Hey. Before you go to the bowling alley, blow my fucking brains out, yeah? That's the only way to remain human all the way to the end, right?
You there, Casey? I'm back.
Hey, tourist. Did you discover anything?
I found Kenneth.
You did? Is he still alive?
No, he's dead. But he told me some interesting things before it was over.
Shit. Rest in peace, Kenny. My friend. What did he tell you?
He wanted me to tell you something. You want to know what he said?
Yes, of course. What did he say?
He said you're a good guy. Not to feel guilt about what happened outside the bunker. To let the massacre go. He told me all about it. From his perspective. But I am curious about yours.
Well, if he told you what happened, why do you need to hear it from me? You know what you need to know, right? And you've told me my friend is dead, so we can move on, yeah?
I know it must be hard, Casey, to talk about it. But it's okay. Tell me what happened.
Yeah, you're right, tourist. It's not easy for me. There was a massacre. 36 people at least. Civilians, right at the reserve entrance. Innocent people that we should have been protecting. I should have done something to stop it, but I didn't. I stood there, a coward. And now I don't sleep. I have a nervous twitch in my right hand that gets more pronounced every day, and the guilt is like a 10-ton weight crushing my chest. Are you satisfied now?
Those are just facts, Casey. I already know the facts. What I need to know is your perspective on the whole thing. There's a reason why you can't sleep. You're twitching like a junkie and your chest feels like it's caving in.
Okay, quit badgering me, please. I'll talk. Just give me a second to gather my thoughts. It's all fucking foggy. The whole thing escalated really fast. The first bullet was Foster. I wanted to scream no, but it's like I just left my body. Everything after that moment, it's like a nightmare. Jess and Trent started firing. Jess, she was smiling. Kenneth hesitated. He looked right through me, like he expected me to have his back. But I did nothing. So he started firing. After that, all I've been able to retain are weird details. Oh, the sounds. A hat. A cross. Man, sometimes when I'm here lying, trying to sleep, I can actually feel my fingers shaking on the trigger of my rifle, even though I haven't touched the thing since the day it happened.
The feel of the trigger. Did you pull it?
Yeah. I didn't want to, but I did. Basic training kicked in. Follow orders, no matter what. But I don't know if I killed anyone. I may have. Thing is, I'll never know. Maybe that's worse than actually knowing for certain that I did.
What do you hear when the sounds come?
The sound of terror. Please. The gunfire. My own shouts. The thump of bodies hitting the floor. This cacophony will just swell up inside my head when I least expect it. This chaos. But I can still pick out every single fucking sound. I just can't shake it.
A cross? Like in a church? What's that all about?
Yeah. It's fucking strange, tourist. I see it. Real close up. Everything around it is hazy. Bullets chewing it up. Splintering the wood. It's from my church back home. The one my mom used to drag me to. You know, but that makes no sense. Well, it's just my mind fucking with me. Guilt digging in deep, I guess. Fearing judgment.
A cross?
Yeah. Bullets chewing it up. The one it's just my mind.
You mentioned a hat. What hat?
There was this old man. Shielding his wife. He had on this bright blue fishing hat, and I watched a flurry of bullets rip it right off in this spray of blood and skull. And this fucking hat, I swear to God, it's the exact same hat my uncle used to wear. And the bullets drove it into the wall, and it hung there for a second, dripping. And then it flopped onto the floor. The image, I can't get it out of my head. I'm worried it'll be there forever. And I keep thinking, was it me? Did I shoot those bullets?
You never know for sure, Casey.
That's exactly right, tourist. And I can't fucking deal with that.
Listen to me, Casey. Carefully. What happened outside the bunker? It's not your fault. That is clear to me. It was clear to Kenneth. You need to find a way to make it clear to yourself.
Yeah, I know. You're right, tourist. But it's not easy. Gonna take a lot of fucking work. Hey, maybe when this is all over, I can hire you to be my therapist.
I charge $300 an hour. Don't think you can afford that on National Guard money.
Yeah, probably not. Look, tourist, this little chat, it's worn me the fuck out. And I've got rewiring to do to keep from getting electrocuted next time I use this radio. Not that it really fucking matters. Doubtful I'm getting out of here alive. Without that key that has everyone riled up, this is all a waste of time. I'm gonna go. I'll talk to you later, I guess.
Casey, good news.
Good news? Hell, tourist. I would classify that as fucking outstanding news. No, look, I don't want to jinx it, but... No, you know what? I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Best not to risk the jinx. Let's just forge ahead. One step at a time. Okay, so, the part to repair the final pump. Gosh, I don't have much to go on. It's weird. There's been really faint chatter about it on a few channels, and been nothing but static for months. There's an outpost called Bastion, set up in a heavily defended duplex home. Barricades and optimal sightlines. The Reclaimed currently control it. Now, the place has been a hotbed of conflict between Tower and Reclaimed for a while. From what I'm hearing, that's where it is, so be ready for a shitstorm. Good luck, and hey, keep your head on a swivel.
Hey, Casey. Feel like bullshitting for a minute?
Yeah, sure. I ain't going nowhere. I can put this book down. Lord knows I've read it enough times already.
What book is it?
The only book down here besides instruction manuals is this hardcore physics book called Hollow Reel. No clue who left it. I must have read it cover to cover a dozen times already, and it still blows my mind. I mean, the whole book is about this theory that the entire universe, like reality itself, is nothing more than a hologram being projected on the surface of a black hole. It sounds fucking nuts, but the math supports it, I guess. I'm trying to wrap my head around it all, but science is not really my strong suit. What about you? You a reader?
I prefer movies. Not much of a reader.
Oh, shit. I haven't seen a movie in ages. What kind of flicks do you like?
Dark, weird shit. I want to be disturbed and challenged. Mainstream movies are all the same.
Yeah, I can't get into that stuff. I don't want to think during a movie. I just want to get lost for 2 hours. Eat some popcorn. Oh, shit. I would love some buttery popcorn right now. Weird thought. You think there'll ever be another Hollywood movie made?
Maybe not in our lifetime, and maybe not in Hollywood. But humans are resilient, and we like our entertainment. I think we'll find a way.
I'd like to think so. Well, on that note, I'm gonna go do some exercises. I gotta keep limber. I mean, it's so damp and cramped down here, my body's getting real stiff. It feels like I'm fucking 80 years old. Hey, thanks for the diversion, tourist. It's nice to be reminded sometimes that we're still human beings in the middle of all this shit. Talk to you soon.
Southern Bump, 7 East Side Narrow, 717. Agitate. Memorial Lane. Weapon haul discovered. The wards. Reclaim patrol spotted. Old Town.
Our enemies are weak. They lack conviction, lack purpose. They spread nothing but lies about us. That's all they can offer. A pile of bullshit. They have no vision for the future. They are hopeless swine. All they want is to see us burn. And why is that? They envy our success. That's why. They know we are strong. They know we refuse to be swayed. They know we are united. And it drives that half-wit charlatan of theirs mad with envy. They don't understand loyalty or sacrifice. We do. Because we are guided by principle. And these principles have seen us through the worst horrors imaginable time and time again. We all know what kind of animals they are. We all know that they stand for nothing. They are empty, depraved psychopaths, every last one of them. They must be dealt with swiftly and without mercy before they can poison everything we have worked so hard to achieve. The tower will always stand. Georgia.
You made it. I didn't doubt that you would, of course, but my patience was beginning to be tested. Let's start with a formal introduction. You are the tourist, and I am Jean-Baptiste. JB for short. There now, we can proceed to matters of more profound consequence. It is my understanding that this gizmo here would be of use to you. It's all yours. Consider it a gift. And when we are finished with our conversation, I will provide you with the missing dial that you'll need to operate it. Sound fair?
Sounds fair.
Terrific. Now, I prefer to play it straight. Once I received word that you were collecting these devices, and to what purpose, I saw an opportunity to connect with the city's most illustrious survivor and have a chat about the reserve. So I made it a priority to acquire one through various means I will not divulge. And now here you are. It is my hope when I am through, you will see the reserve for what it is. Nothing more than a crutch holding back the people of this fine city from regaining themselves.
You've piqued my interest. Go on.
I am a firm believer in the greatness of humankind, our ingenuity, our art, our towering scientific achievements. This reserve nonsense, even if the rumors about what may be inside it exceed our wildest dreams, the bounty will only prolong our addiction to survivalism as the only path in life. It will stifle our creativity. It will eventually lead to our withering doom. Now, this is the proposal that I have for you. Continue your search for the reserve, and when you unearth it, which I have the utmost confidence you will, destroy it. These 4 numbers will disable the entire flood contingency system. Mother Nature will rage through the reserve and take care of the rest. 1006. Flood the reserve and set us all free. Give this still glorious city the jump start it needs to refocus on something much grander than mere survival. Grant us hope, tourist, and thank you most sincerely for hearing me out. And let's keep this chat between us, if that's all right. I'm not sure my comrades would see the big picture benefits of removing the reserve from the equation. The floor's now yours, my friend. Anything on your mind that requires clarity?
I want your perspective on the reserve.
Uh-huh.
If the rumors about what's inside the reserve are true, Wouldn't it benefit the Reclaim to get your hands on it?
You are absolutely correct. But once those supplies are gone, then what? The same old fruitless pursuits. And there is the very distinct possibility that the tower gets to it before we do. The only way to guarantee this city will move forward in the proper direction is to remove the reserve from the equation entirely.
Why choose me to destroy the reserve?
Because you're the one best equipped to find the accursed place, and I trust you will do the right thing when you do. Call it a hunch.
How did you find this code to flood the reserve?
One of my scouts came across the corpse of a National Guardsman in Rampart High School. The body had a manual for a bunker's flood defense system. I put two and two together.
I have some other questions for you, JB. I'm curious about the Reclaimed.
Yes?
The Reclaimed have made quite a mark on the city. How did the movement get started?
After my exile from the tower for insubordination, I took to raiding their supply lines. Rather efficiently, I might add. No one ever got hurt, and other exiles clamored to join my operations. Needless to say, Mama and her cohorts were not pleased with my exploits, and they sent several communications asking me to cease my pillaging or there'd be consequences. Of course, I refused, politely. No one was gonna dictate the terms of my existence anymore. But it wasn't until the tower started sending thugs out to track me down and end me that I decided it was time to send a message of my own.
I've heard snippets about the Reclaimed philosophy, but it would be enlightening to hear it from you.
It's simple, really. We want to live purposeful lives, reclaim the world and our humanity along with it. Mere survival is so petty. It's beneath us, forcing people to focus solely on survival. It's cruel, really. I believe we must invest in a future of our own design. Life is not worth living otherwise.
What's with the gory rituals?
First one was a man I knew well in my brief tenure as a tower grunt. I'd even called him a friend. Tripp was his name. Snuck up on me in the middle of sleep. Tried to slit my throat. Still carry the scar. Well, long story short, Tripp was no match for me. I maimed him. Something awful, really. And I dragged his body about a mile all the way to the southern bump, which at the time was the most highly trafficked exit from the tower. I found an old oak, hung him upside down from it so his lifeblood would spill rapidly into the soil, and upon his chest I pinned a note that read, "Keep 'em coming." And just like that, I became the most feared boogeyman Nola has seen since the Axeman. Once I had fear on my side, the rest just blossomed naturally. Those with nowhere else to go wanted what I had, so they listened. And they learned. I empowered them. That's all people want. A sense that their lives still have some meaning.
I have some other questions for you, JB. I've heard enough.
Fair enough. Then we are finished here. The dial, as promised. Godspeed, tourist.
Finally meet tourist. After all the hype, you're not exactly what I expected. Thought you'd be more put together, bit more danger to your presence.
You know who I am, but I'm not sure I know who you are. I have a guess, but...
I'm Georgia. Maybe you heard of me, maybe not. I could give two shits. What does concern me is the man inside the building you just stepped out of. The time has come to silence him once and for all. Cut off the head that won't shut up. Rest of the reclaimed fools will fall back in line. Then us tower folk can get back to doing what's right, without all the noise.
From what I know about JB, it may take more than you and a couple of goons to take him down.
You a real smart-ass tourist. I fucking love smart-asses. Especially when I've snipped the tongues out of their smart-ass mouths. But I'm willing to give you a pass on your smart-ass ways. Just this once. I'm gonna offer you an opportunity to be a hero. You game?
That depends. What the fuck do you want me to do?
Quit fucking with me, fool. You know what I want. March back up into that house and kill JB. Prove you are worth more to the tower than the cockroach you've been so far. And in return, all your fucked up transgressions will be forgiven. If you happen to find yourself in the midst of our onslaught on the reserve, tower troops will have your back. You have my word.
This is your conflict, not mine. I'm not a hired gun for the tower.
That's a goddamn shame, tourist. JB is not walking out of that place alive, whether you get involved or not. What you don't seem to realize, however, is your fate if you defy me. Let me clarify. Do as you are told, or you are dead.
Nothing better to do?
Good God, you look sicker than a dying dog. Nothing better to do?
You've returned. To what do I owe the pleasure, tourist?
Tower troops are outside. They want you dead. I suggest you get out of here.
Well, look at you, tourist. Choosing sides. I suppose that's a good sign regarding our previous conversation. For a rogue spirit, you certainly have proven pivotal in the fight for the soul of this godforsaken and still glorious city. I have no designs on escape. I plan to march right out of this house, gun drawn, and send a message. If you feel like joining me, I suggest you keep up. When it comes to violence, I am decisive and swift.
That's the tourist? Doesn't look so tough.
Tourist, thank you, and goodbye. Maybe our paths will cross again. Maybe not. Guess we'll just have to wait and see. Personally, I think you should follow us out of this doomed city. Like I said, you would be an asset to the Exodus. But you need to follow whatever story resides in your head. Just know that you are a part of my and Ambra's story, along with the stories of a couple dozen folks who might have been dead by the end of the week if it wasn't for your efforts. Ambra wanted to give you one more drawing. I think she hopes it'll sway your decision. Good luck, and I hope you find what you're searching for. May.
I'm back, Casey. Ready to repair the pump. You still alive?
Yeah, alive, but almost swimming. No turning back after this, tourist. We have to get after it. I'm running out of time. You prepared?
I have to take care of something.
I get it. Other stuff on your mind.
All right. I have to take care of something.
Okay, I'll be here.